Christine, we got you double then.
I'm hearing an amen to. Anybody else hearing the echo?
I can hear it.
There is a major echo.
Yeah, just everything's an echo for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, the tech will work. They're on.
Give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth. Give me life, give me life, keep me free from birth. Give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load. Trying to touch and reach you with my heart and soul. My Lord, please take hold of my hand, that I might understand you. Won't you please, oh won't you give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth. Give me life, give me life,
How are
give
we
me
doing?
free from birth. Give me hope, help me cope with
Yeah,
this
that music can't hear it.
heavy
Can't hear
load.
it.
I can hear it like volume.
Me free from birth. Take hold of my hand, that I might understand you. Won't you please, oh won't you give me love? Give me love. Give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth. Give me light, give me life, keep me free from birth. Give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load. Trying to touch and reach you with my heart and soul. My Lord, please take hold of my hand, and I might understand you.
Thank you, Ron. Welcome. And good morning, New Thought, Philadelphia. What a long, strange, twisty road it has been getting here. The sound has been exciting this morning. We have way more technology than our group requires. This is a little bit, little feedy back, Luke. By the way, Luke is doing sound for us today. Welcome back, Luke. It's been a while. So, good morning, New Thought Philadelphia, and good morning to the folks who are at Falzer. Good morning to the people who are joining us on Zoom. It is wonderful to have you here. Hey, you know the rules when we're on Zooms. Keep yourself muted. And if you hear yourself echoing back when you're speaking on Zoom, just let us know, because there's a button to be adjusted here, and we will make sure to take care of that. But let's give it a try. Let's make ourselves joyous and echoey. And go ahead and unmute yourself on Zoom. Repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open myself
I
to
open
love.
myself to love.
Love.
I open myself to joy.
I open
I
myself.
open myself to
With
joy.
joy.
I open myself to the awareness of the good surrounding me.
I open
I
myself
open
open myself
myself
to the
to
good
the
surrounding me.
goodness of the world surrounding me.
And so it is. Oh.
And so it is.
There you go. Folks on Zoom, click the mute button one more time, and I will remind you that New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. Whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you to our gathering this morning, wherever you're heading next, we have been expecting you. So welcome home. We believe there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us, and that we each use that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. You can take the monitor down a little bit, that'd be just fine. The way we like to say it around here, and you can say it along if you want to, is your new life begins with a new thought. If you have extra electronic devices in your possession that you have not put on mute previously, go ahead and do that now, and I'm realizing that I haven't, so I will go ahead and say, shush. We will hear from you later. Yeah, there we go. So, we begin our celebration the way we begin everything, with a practical prayer. And this morning, our practitioner, Jesus, will be zooming in from Puerto Rico to open us in prayer. Jesus? You got to unmute. Did it work? Is Jesus frozen? He went to Puerto Rico and he froze? Dang. Oh, there he goes. Jesus. Am I hard to hear on Zoom? Folks on Zoom, it's hard to hear me?
You're very
Better?
loud.
Okay. Jesus, go ahead and open us up in a prayer.
Yes. Thank you, Rev. I guess, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Okay, let's settle in. Taking a deep breath in. And let it go. Knowing that the one perfect present, the perfect power, is here and soon. It's over there in Folsom. It's everywhere. It's omnipresent. If we go to the stars, he's there. If we go down deep in the sea, he's there. From where can we go from his presence? And where can we go from our spirit? This moment is the best moment, is the perfect moment, is the only moment. This is the day that God has created. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Together, bringing our gifts, bringing our presence. Each one here is a teacher of presence. That's the purpose, our purpose in life. Everything else is secondary. Bringing that presence into this moment through the music, through the talk, through the flames of faith, through the announcement. Each one sharing that unity, that love, that peace, that joy, that freedom, that balance, that wisdom, that understanding in all things. Acquire understanding. We are, each one here, a unique expression of divinity. Let's put the seeds that we have, the seeds of meditation, of prayer, and plant them in the infinite field of pure potentiality, where all things are possible. We meditate, we pray, we share, we celebrate this day. We do the possible, and God will do the impossible. Things that you want to imagine. It says, you have no idea, eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard, or they come into the heart of man and women. It's all the goodness and the abundance that God has created for each one here today. Like the will of God for us here right now in this moment is something beautiful, joyous, far beyond than anything we could sit down and wish for with our conscious mind. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, for this moment of truth that each one here brings to the table of goodness. The storehouse of God don't got no locks. It's always open. Let's go in and feast in the storehouse of that infinite goodness that is here for each one to take. Let's open ourselves, our hearts, our minds, our soul to all the goodness that is here right now, through the talk and the music and everything that's going to be shared in this moment. We come together with love and peace and joy. I'm so blessed for this moment with my brothers and sisters together, sharing and seeing the glory of the Most Highest. Each one here is standing in the everlasting arms of the goodness of God. Like I said before, I am blessed. My heart is vibrating with enthusiasm, in fire with the warm presence. Yes. And I claim this truth for my brothers and sisters here, coming in and sharing their presence with each one here. So with gratitude in my heart, with thanksgiving in my soul, with appreciation in my mind, my prayer known to the one Lord, the Lord God, Lord of mine, which always say yes. And once say yes, and I know that my word will not come empty. It will do whatever I think it to do. And I know that a warm presence always here, always that corresponded to our thoughts and mind. So I do. So it is. Amen. Thank you.
By the way, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Bill Marchiony, the spiritual director at New Thought Philadelphia. Jesus is one of our practitioners today. Breen is our other practitioner. He'll be leading the meditation. Our musician back after a long hiatus with us is Ron Chelsvig. And this is your first time gigging out in many months.
Yes, it is.
Well, we are honored to have you with us, and thank you for being here. Part of a prayer work story. And actually what we'll do is we like to share the results of the prayers we've been doing. Because the whole idea of doing a prayer is not like you're going to get God points. The idea of doing a prayer is to create a change in the experience of life that we're having. Can you guys on Zoom hear me okay? Thumbs up? We're doing all right? Whew, love when that happens. Yeah, so that's wonderful. And so I was off at the ANTN annual retreat, Boundless, for a week, and we had various people covering meditation. Thank you to the Practitioner Core who was covering and taking care of that. And a prayer work story for me showed up unbeknownst to me, because one of the things that we want to do is welcome more people into the New Thought Philadelphia community. And so Martha, who's here today, who we get to greet in just a minute, found us on the meetup, came in and joined the meditation, then was invited to come to the Sunday celebration. And here's the prayer works part. When she was watching our video library, it turns out that her old friend Jackie had done the talk here a while back, because she knew Jackie from back in the days when Jackie wasn't Reverend in Connecticut. So wait until you find out that Karen Judd is here. Yeah. So that is my prayer work story. If anybody else has a prayer work story that you'd like to share, something that you'd like to give voice to, if you're online, then you can wave your hand or raise your digital hand. If you're in the room, you don't have a digital hand, but you can wave around a little bit there. Anybody prayer work stories? I got plenty more, but I will wait a little bit to get to them.
I do.
I know that you did. Come on, Christine, let's hear it.
I have a ton of prayer work stories, but like the first, okay, I can be a very spirited soul for God, right? Like a stallion chomping at the bit. And I was, when the hurricanes were happening, called Rev and said, what are we going to do about this? Which, takes time. And I was ready to go. And I had a caravan of four-wheelers and all kinds of pools for emergency persons and people who knew how to use them safely. And then I was ready to go.
This was after Hurricane Helene.
Helene, yeah, I was ready to go. And then Milton came, and all my, family and friends coming from Florida up to escape Milton, and some stayed. And it was like, wait, what? And I got a little upset again, because I'm like, hey, I got the supply, I got the heart. Why are you stopping me? And it took me time to realize God is stopping me because he knows I can manifest things fast. And I needed time to prepare myself in prayer and be with others to emotionally compartmentalize what was happening with me internally and with my loved ones. And so it's okay. And I know that this is happening. It's in progress. So yes, prayer works.
There you go. And sometimes the prayer working is when we don't get what we were asking for, because it turns out there was either something bigger going on, or it turns out that wasn't going to work for us anyway. So amen to that. Anybody else? A prayer work story? Jane has a prayer work story.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So as some of you know, my brother passed away back in 2021. And overall this time, nobody's really, like his wife really wasn't, like, she kind of isolated, and so nobody's really had a chance to talk with her. And when we've wanted to come and visit her down in Maryland, she said, no, I'm not feeling well, like it's not going to work. So fast forward to this weekend, Max and Brittany decided to go down to Maryland to celebrate their second wedding anniversary. And they said, Max said, Mom, I'm just going to show up at Aunt Karen's house because this is enough already. I miss her. I really want to see her. And so I did a practical prayer to see, just to be like, okay, she's going to answer the door, you're going to have a visit. You'll see her. And as it turns out, they had a great visit. And I think Max stayed for like well over 2 hours. And she got on a FaceTime call, so I got to see her for the first time since 2021. And I had a nice conversation with her. So I thought that was a really great, a great successful practical prayer.
Max made an agent of the infinite again. Thank you, Jane. I'm going to turn it right back around to Jane to share the announcements with us.
Hey.
Hey.
Woohoo! This unseasonably warm information is on the website at newthoughtphilly.org. Sign up there for the weekly e-newsletter so we can keep in touch. Join one of our 15-minute meditations on Zoom. They happen twice every day and are inspiring, fun, and quick. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning this week are also on Insight Timer Live. And the Wednesday evening session will be co-hosted with Anton. The Practical Prayer podcast this week is Spirituality, Not Religion with Carol and Reverend Bill. Join the live studio audience on New Thought Media Network on Monday at 1 p.m. when they record a new episode. Spiritual, Not Religious is on Tuesday, October 22nd from 7 to 8 p.m. It's part of our ongoing series on New Thought principles and practice on Zoom and Insight Timer. Reverend Bill talks about connecting with our spiritual selves without rules or church supervision. Learn to do healing like Jesus. The instructions to create transformation and healing are hidden in plain sight. In this 4-week class, Reverend Bill Marchiony brings them to light and helps you learn this timeless technique. Tuesdays at 7 p.m. beginning November 12th. Tune out the fear, tune in the vision. For 100 days leading up to the election, we are cultivating a special mindfulness practice to raise the vibration for all involved. To take part, text JOIN to the number on the website. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Insight Timer, and YouTube. Follow, subscribe, like, and share, and join the 1,914 spiritual adventurers in our group on meetup.com. We are always grateful for your financial support. You can make a tax-deductible donation by Zelle, Cash App, check, PayPal, Venmo, credit, or debit card. And thank you to the team that makes our celebrations work and has fun doing it. We get together before the celebration to put the pieces in order. To join the joy, contact our volunteer coordinator. Next Sunday is online with I Am Love Entering. Guest speaker Dr. Abigail Albert points out that this universe cannot exist without you. Live music by Anna W. The practitioners are available for professional sessions by appointment. After the celebration, Jesus is available for a quick miracle and a minute prayer. We'll leave the Zoom meeting open after the celebration for casual conversation.
Great. Thank you, Jane. And we have a special blessing and a gift for our second-time visitors. So when you all come back for the second time, we give you this lovely engraved keychain and pen so that you can light your way and write your story. We have a special blessing and a welcome for our first-time visitors. So for anyone who is here for the first time, if you would be willing to just stand up and receive this blessing, stand on up. And you just received, the rest of us are going to rub our hands together. The folks who are joining us on Zoom, same thing for you guys. We're going to rub our hands together, feel the warmth, feel the love, and send that out. You are the bright light of God's love. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing that love and shining that light with us today. And welcome. As Ron does the next song, we are going to wander around the room here and greet each other. And if you are watching on Zoom, then you can go into gallery view, or if you're on a device, you can swipe amongst the pictures. Make eye contact with the people who are in community with. Ron?
Living in a world where the hardest working people make less and less. We're living in a world where the people in charge make such a mess. The ones who have no say are the ones who pay, pay, and pay. We're living in a world where lots of babies don't have no home. We're living in a world where so many people feel so alone. If they had it their own way, well, it would be a beautiful today. We're living in a world where so many people are so confused. We're living in a world where the ones with no say get so abused. They think that we don't know, but we know that that ain't so. We're living in a world where too many people sit alone and cry. We're living in a world where peace and love are in small supply. But it don't have to be that way. Listen to your heart and go that way. We're living in a world where beautiful souls are everywhere. We're living in a world where so many people seem to care. I know that it is so. I just want to stop and say hello. Hello. I know that it is so. I just want to stop and say hello. We're living in a world. We're living in a world. We're living in a world. Living in a world. We're living in a world. We're living in a world. Living in a world. We're living in a world. We're living in a world where beautiful souls are everywhere. We're living in a world where so many people seem to care. I know that it is so. I just want to stop and say hello. Hello. You can sing this part along. We're living in a world. 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 Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. We light the flames of faith. Kathy is going to light the flames for us here in the Falzer, and the reading part of that is going to get done by Christine.
Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Love when
All
that
right.
happens.
We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people in all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine, feminine, and masculine. We light the first candle for knowing the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle, shamanic tradition, honoring the belief and practices of all indigenous people and the wisdom and spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths in the path of compassion. We light 6 candles for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as path of love. We light the 7th candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the 8th candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the 9th candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone, including yourself or any place you wish to experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
The reading today is, it looks like it's from the ANTN book. Yep, there we go. And it's going to be shared with us by Nia. So come on up and share on. By the way, there's a new ANTN book.
All right. Hello, everyone. Morning. Okay. Right. The reading is called Manifesting Love. Divine mind brings together and maintains together those who belong together, that the glory of God shall be made manifest. Raymond Charles Barker. I have been a student of New Thought for decades, and on most Sundays, I still bring a journal to church. There is always something new to ponder. I have accumulated shelves of notebooks over the years. Reverend Dr. James Mellon recently said, Ernest Holmes didn't know what he was talking about. He just knew what he was talking about. Such as the inner knowing I had back in January 1995 when I intuitively knew that I was ready for my RPM, my right and perfect mate. I did my prayer treatment work, solicited the support of practitioners, and I affirmed that I was willing to do whatever it would take to demonstrate the relationship of my desire. I also intuitively knew that doing whatever it would take included being willing to not know how, but to trust the process. Not long after, on a fateful Sunday, our minister, Dr. Arlene Bump, read Raymond Charles Baker's quote, and it just stopped me in my tracks. At that instant, I knew that the effort was over and that spirit, by means of me, knew what to do and how to do it. My work was to let go, let God, and pay attention. A short while later, I met my future husband, Michael. A few months after we met, while going through my old journals, I discovered I had written this exact same quote no less than 5 other times. I just didn't hear it before. I am willing to do whatever it takes to demonstrate my heartfelt desires. Reverend Mary Beth Spear, Religious Science, Glen Allen, Illinois.
Thank you, Nia. Ron?
This time, run away with me. This time, run away with me. Well, this old world makes no sense to me, but your love sets me free. So this time, well, this time, run away with me. Well, this time, run away with me. When I'm all alone and deep in my head, well, I remember words you said. So this time, well, this time, run away with me. Well, this time, run away with me. Walking through this life, day after day, watching all the games we play. This time, run away with me. Well, this time, run away with me. Well, this time, run away with me.
Thank you, Ron. So, the talk today is called Boundless, and it's about exploring next level consciousness. And the title was really easy because I spent the last week at Unity Village outside Kansas City at the ANTN Retreat, and the title of the retreat was Boundless, Exploring Next Level Consciousness. So I'm just reporting back on the stuff that I got filled up with over the course of the week. And there were wonderful presentations. There were keynotes that are long form. There were power talks, which are 15 minutes, which is just enough of a nugget to get you really thinking about some things. Completely filled up. So when the opportunity comes up again next October, and there's the possibility of going to Unity Village for the next year's retreat, which is deep within, mining our hidden treasures. Making a point to go there, because Unity Village is spectacular, and the retreat is awesome. So some of the folks who made a particular impression on me were David Alexander, who is kind of the New Thought heretic, and he's the guy who is the mastermind behind the 100 days election intention. We're like 75 days in, there's only 25 or so days left. And he was talking about his new focus, which is building the fifth kingdom together. And you might remember that the four kingdoms of consciousness, the first kingdom is victim consciousness. It is done unto me. So that's where the world is doing stuff to us. And then as we go through and learn to use practical prayer and create new experiences in our lives, we move into the second kingdom of consciousness, which is manifestor consciousness. It is done by me. I am in partnership with the infinite. I am creating something new in the world around me. The third kingdom of consciousness is channel consciousness. It is done through me, and that's when we get to the point where we're not just doing stuff for ourselves. through our spiritual, excuse me, through our spirituality or our intentional work, we're doing things on behalf of other people. And the fourth kingdom of consciousness is being consciousness. It is done as me. And he was talking about the fifth level of consciousness, the fifth kingdom of consciousness, which brings all of that together and goes beyond it. Some of the things that he talked about were, he has 4 Ps, and it's different than our 4 Ps, which are the steps that we use for creating a practical prayer, what makes a good affirmation. His 4 Ps are the things that people start praying for, which is princes, princesses, parking spots, and palaces. Those are his 4 Ps. And what he's pointing out, as we get through the kingdoms of consciousness, through those different levels, we don't need to focus on those 4 anymore. To bring relationships into our life, to get parking spots, to get the place to live, a car, a thing like that. It is, we're living in a sense of sufficiency and an experience of enoughness, and then we can turn to something bigger. He pointed out a couple of interesting things along the way. Oneness is plural, which is interesting. Oneness is plural. It happens when all of us together, a plurality, are doing that same thing together, of focusing on the oneness and being present in the oneness. He also pointed out that Jesus was political, which, as you read through the Bible stories, yeah, Jesus was political. He wasn't partisan, but he was political. He was creating political change there. Dr. Alexander told a story. You know, we have this idea. You know, I'm going to get rid of all of this. I'm going to celebrate my independence. I'm going to go move to a Caribbean island and just get away from all of this. And he pointed out that in order to do that, you need an airline and an airplane and a pilot and fuel and runways and organization and air traffic control. You need somebody to meet you when you get to the Caribbean island. You need a way of getting supplies while you're living on the Caribbean island. It takes an awful lot of dependence to get that level of independence. And he says the fifth kingdom, the one that he's working on now, is going beyond the fourth, which is done as me. It is done as we. It's about community. It's about that plurality. It's about being together and doing things as one. And actually, community and consciousness and cooperation was a recurring theme. Jim Lockhart was there. He, I think, had the Distance Award. He came in from Lyon, France, which is where he's living now. And he was talking about beloved community. It's how we in our spiritual communities and in our own communities, wherever we are going beyond what has been before. In a lot of ways, the structures have gone through what is described in spiral dynamics, and it's ready for the next stage. We're not going to church because somebody told us we have to go to church. We're not involved in a spiritual practice because we want the other people who are in the spiritual practice to think that we're cool. It's now about what am I being, what am I bringing, what am I sharing? And an interesting perspective that it brings to that. A couple of interesting points that he made. Head in the clouds, hands in the dirt. That's what we want to be doing. We want to be creating some change, but we need to be actively participating in it. And the other one was change is good. You go first. Change is good, you go first. Heard from Sheila McKeithen, our friend Sheila McKeithen, who is the president of the Universal Foundation for Better Living, which is the organization Johnny Coleman started in Chicago some number of years ago. She lives in Kingston, Jamaica. She's originally from Florida. And she was talking about a healthy, happy, prosperous life on a sustainable planet. And you think that that's something aspirational for somebody who lives in a Caribbean island who's dealing, with, they're right up in the front lines of sea level rise and climate change. But she was talking about a bigger picture than that. She was talking about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. And it turns out that there are, I think, 17 goals that the United Nations has identified. And all the member nations of the United Nations, 190 plus of them, have agreed that these 19 goals are worthwhile. I actually printed out the picture of them. I'm talking about 19 different colors. It's quite a challenge. So all people on earth deserve no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. All people deserve reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action. All deserve life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and partnerships for our shared goals. And that's aspirational. They set the timeline on that for 2030, which seems like plenty of time. It's not, but it's got a little bit of time. And every year they do a report card. But she wasn't talking about this. She actually brought one of her staff ministers from Jamaica with her, and Jermaine McKenzie is actually a UN official. That's his day job. He works as her staff minister during his free time. And he is representing these sustainable development goals in Latin America and the Caribbean. And he spoke very powerfully about this because he's working on this stuff all the time. There's a report card that comes out every year. How well are we doing on any of these, and what's happening with them, and why are we being challenged? And he came up with the 3 C's of challenge that we've been facing lately: COVID, climate change, and conflict. Those are the things that have been setting us back in some of these areas recently. But it's a reminder that it's we. This is all the nations in the United Nations agree that these are important and powerful and worthwhile things to be doing. And so let's get busy. When there's some dirt to get on our hands, maybe that's a good time for us to do that. It's about people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. 5 P's. Everybody's got P's. It's amazing. Those are all categorized as people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. And there's a quote from Margaret Mead, who said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed individuals can change the world. In fact, it is the only thing that ever has." So when we're thinking, what can I do? What can I do? How can I make any change? That's how change happens. By setting the intention, by realizing that there is something that's important to be done. We did some sessions on visioning about what is trying to happen now, and then what is my part to embrace? What are the steps that I am to take? What is it that I'm to let go of? So we can do that as our spiritual practice and continue to do that as our work in the world and continue moving forward. Our friend Sanja Mathis was there, and not just to lead yoga class every morning in the Fillmore Chapel. She did a power talk, and she was wonderful. She's just inspiring and has fun stories. And she told this story because she said that her dad used to just sometimes say stuff out of nowhere. And she was sitting with her dad, and he just looks at her and says, "If you're in a car that falls into the lake," and she says, "Why are we talking about this?" He says, no, go with me. And she says, "I'm never going to be in a car that falls into a lake." He says, "If you're ever in a car that falls into a lake, then your car has the roll-down windows. What you're going to do is wait till it gets to the bottom. Wait till it gets to the bottom, then survey the car, see what's in the car, then open the window and carry with you only what you need. You get back to the surface, you go home." And she realized that it was a spiritual message as well. When we are in a situation when there's some change happening for us, and we realize that we're now in the lake, look around. Survey what's available and see what you want to carry with you. Because the car is already at the bottom of the lake. That's an insurance claim at this point. There's a recovery effort that may or may not go on. Our purpose is to get out of the car, to get ourselves back to safety and go home. Spiritually, we want to be doing that as well. Make sure that we're taken care of. Don't drag along the things that we don't need. And leave ourselves prepared for whatever it is that's coming next. My friend Tim Stewart was talking about Maxwell Maltz, who's a plastic surgeon and also the author of Psycho-Cybernetics. And as a plastic surgeon, he noticed that when his patients came in and they were pleased with the results of the plastic surgery, their lives were transformed. They led happier, more productive, more prosperous, more wonderful, more vibrant lives. And interestingly, it didn't matter how good the plastic surgery was. The plastic surgeons might say, "Really missed it on that one." And if the person looked at the results and they were happy with it, that's what mattered. It wasn't the results of the surgery, it was the results of the change in thinking that the people had. The patients who thought they looked better after plastic surgery were more likely to be happy and successful in life. A lot of it's about self-perception. And that's the invitation for us as we connect together in community to see ourselves as vibrant, as forward-thinking, as living on a planet that's sustainable, that works for everyone. Listen to the guidance, see what's ours to do, see what the possibilities are that are open to us, and take the steps. Take the steps. Not that we gotta fix everything, not that we need to tote ourselves and load ourselves up with a to-do list, but to give ourselves a new possibility. So that is my week's worth of Boundless, next level consciousness in a few minutes, and an invitation for you to look beyond what has been, to see what we and community and togetherness looks like, and let us create something fabulous, because you deserve it and we deserve it. So it is. Ron?
So I would like to take just 1 minute. Dina asked me to share, and I hope this is okay. 5 months ago, I had a stroke, and I lost the use of my left hand completely. I couldn't make a fist. I couldn't move my fingers. And a month after I had my stroke, I met with Dina. We had coffee, and she told me she would like me to prepare for a gig in October. And I just looked at her and I thought, I can't tie my shoes, you know? I can't play guitar. And she said, well, just something to work on. And so I thank her for this. I'm a little nervous today. After many years of playing guitar, I didn't have to tell my fingers what to do, and now I have to tell my fingers what to do while I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to sing next. But I wanted to share, too, that I really look at everything today as a blessing. I don't look at good and bad anymore. I just look at everything as a blessing. And as I was having my stroke, I took an Uber to the ER because that was the quickest way. And in the Uber, I went inside and I said, my God, I'm having a stroke. And a voice inside me said, you're not having a stroke, your body is. And that clarity, whoever's voice that was, thank you. Nothing can hurt me today. And this is just a body. This is just a car I'm driving around in. And who I am is not this body. And I'm also a physical therapist, and I've worked with stroke patients my whole career. Having a stroke is like jumping in the pool, you know, and experiencing it. So I'm really grateful to be here. I'm happy to see everybody online and in person. This is really beautiful. And I'm going to do a song I wrote called Would You Look My Way? Well, if I told you who I am, and if I showed you all I can, and if I told you all I know, and if I showed you my soul, would you look my way? Would you look my way? Would you look my way? Well, if I told you about me, and if I showed you, would you see? And if I showed you the tears I cry, and if I told you the reason why, would you look my way? Would you look my way? Would you look my way? Hey. Well, if I told you who I am, and if I showed you this shy man, well, if I told you everything, well, if I showed you everything, would you look my way? 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 Would you look my
Thank you, Brian. That's beautiful. Thank you for your story. So I'm Breen Rourke, RSCP, President of the Board of Trustees, and I'm here to lead us in a meditative practice. So I was thinking about Boundless, and we are boundless. There's that infinite energy, power, potential that's available to us. But the limits are only what we put on ourselves. Because the truth is, with the capital T, that we are boundless. There's infinite opportunity available to us. And it was just, Ron's story is a beautiful representation of that, because he's like, what are you talking about? I can't even tie my shoes, and here you are playing for us and singing. It's beautiful. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to lead us in a little bit of an experiential exercise. So I invite you to get comfortable where you are. Allow yourself to relax. If you can, if you're seated, sit with your back straight, shoulders up. If you want to put your feet flat on the floor, hands in your lap, palms up. Just relax. Take a nice, deep, full breath, breathing in and exhale. And close your eyes or allow them to go to a soft focus. Just be in this moment. Take another nice, deep, full, cleansing breath, breathing in and exhale. And feel yourself relax even more. Just settle in. And we're going to do a little physical exercise here. I invite you, as I make a few statements, to slowly close your hands and start to clench your fist. We think about being bound. I'm too old. It's too late. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I'm too tired. I'm in too much pain. I didn't go to school. I'm all alone. I'm too far away. Just feel that tension. It's uncomfortable. Take another deep breath in And on the exhale, open your hands. Just feel that release. I am boundless. All things are possible. I am a unique expression of the infinite here and now, and all things are possible. Just breathe into that. I am boundless. I am boundless. Just take that into the silence. If you feel any angst or agitation or any doubt or worry, just remember, I am boundless.
If you believe you can, you halfway there. We are no small stuff. We are the universe in motion. We are not a drop in the ocean. We are the entire ocean in a drop. Knowing we can, we there. It's not how many times we could fall, because our soul never falls. It's perfect and whole. But it's how many times we get up that counts. That's what we call persistence, perseverance, trust, faith in the one power, the one presence. Every time we breathe in and we breathe out, it's God in us, through us, around us, as us. It is us. Let's make a pathway for the infinite to flow through us like the rivers of waters. And we could always drink from the eternal fountain of goodness. We could always eat from the storehouse of abundance. We could always bathe in the clear waters of transparency and transformation. We are not the same persons that we came in this celebration. We've been transformed from glory to glory, from victory to victory. It doesn't matter the disturbance, the doubt, the fear. What matters is the hope, the faith, and the power within us that conquer all things. We are more than conquerors. We are more than what we think we are. And then we become who we really are. The God in us will flourish.
Knowing that blessings continue to unfold, good is at hand for and through and as each of us. I'm so grateful. Grateful for the good that's unfolding, grateful for the good that's still to come. Grateful to be able to claim this good and know that it's in progress now. And so it is. Take another deep breath as you're comfortable. Gently allow your awareness to come back into the world, and Ron's going to do another song for us.
I listen to the wind of my soul. Where I'll end up, well, I think only God really knows. I sat upon the setting sun and never, I never wanted water once, no, never. I listen to my words, but they fall far below. I let my music take me where my heart wants to go. I swam upon the devil's lake, and never, I'll never make the same mistake. No, never. Listen to the wind of my soul. Where I'll end up, well, I think only God really knows. I sat upon the setting sun, never. I never wanted water once, no, never. I listen to my words, but they fall far below. I let my music take me where my heart wants to go. I swam upon the devil's lake, but never, I'll never make the same mistake. No, never, never. I listen to the wind of my soul. I listen to the wind of my soul. I listen to the wind of my soul.
So we have a moment that we can give voice to whatever's come up for us that we'd like to share. It's the wisdom share that we're doing now. And one of the things that I'm noticing is that there's an art show going on at Falzer, and the pieces say things like "Protect your peace, be brave," and there's another one about unity, which is right up over my shoulder here, and the one right inside the door is "Still I Rise," which is Maya Angelou line, and also the song that Ginger Coyle wrote. And by the way, Ginger was one of the musicians who was out at the ANTN Retreat. So all of this stuff is sort of coming together for me in an amazing way. Reinforcement that it is we. It is done as we. That's what it is for me. If somebody else has something that you'd like to give voice to, if you're in the room, come on up. If you're on Zoom, go ahead and raise your hand and get a chance to share. Say what's going on. Take a deep breath. Let yourself be filled completely. And deep breath out. Release. And be prepared for something new. And continue breathing, however is comfortable for you, knowing that that newness is happening, that goodness is at hand. And Jane is going to lead us in the offering. As soon as Jane finds the mute button. Can you hear me, Jane?
Yeah, can now.
Okay. And you're going to lead us in the offering?
Yep.
Hey, excellent. I love when that happens.
Okay. New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way you share. We don't have, oh, well, you have a basket in person there today. And there's also a donate button on the website to make a donation by credit card, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. The offering affirmation is on screen, and we will say the affirmation together. I live in an abundant universe. I am one with the infinite source of all good. I am the center of conscious prosperity. I enjoy the richness of life. I bless my gift. I share my gift with gratitude and joy. I know that as I give, I do receive, and so it is.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Matthew, in the room. Ron, one more song for us?
Sure.
Excellent.
You're the one I see in me, and I'm the one I see in you. And everything you say and do just makes me fall in love with you. 'Cause I see you and you see me, together we will always be. So take my hand and you will see how happy life is gonna be. Well, heads and tails will never know exactly where we're gonna go. We'll walk together hand in hand and find out where we're gonna land. Whatever comes from day to day, we'll learn to brush it all away. With loving hearts and loving smiles, we'll be together for miles and miles. Well, I will never go away, no matter what the people say. 'Cause I'm in you and you're in me, and that is just reality. We'll make it through another day. Let's close our eyes and run away. They'll never tell us where we go. We'll never tell them what we know. What we know, what we know. What we know, what we know. What we know, what we know. You can sing with this part. What we know, what we know. 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 What we know, what we know.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you for starting your comeback tour here. Appreciate that. Let us close with a joyous cacophony. If you're on Zoom, go ahead and unmute. If you're in the room, go ahead and stand up. If you want to, you can take the hand of somebody close by, small enough group that you can or you might not. And go ahead and repeat after me. I am love.
I am love.
I am light.
I am light.
I let the love flow.
I let the love flow.
I let my light shine.
I let my light shine.
I am boundless.
I am boundless.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. April, it's great to see you. Harmony, wonderful.